know how when we are kids, we look at them as like these tall humans getting dressed for work and then going and commanding so many people, and you're like, I want to be like that. Yeah? Well, not me. I did not want to be like my mother. I never wanted to be like my mother. All my adult years, I took every conscious decision to make sure that I don't end up in the same situation like her. Actually, that was not always the case. My mom was my hero. She was a successful, financially independent woman professional, woman leader who used to lead almost 100 engineers. She was at the helm of technology at the telecom revolution of India at a time when we had never even seen a cell phone. At the age of 45, she lost her job. That's my mom. She lost her job. She tried to start a business, which also failed, and she lost her confidence. She could never rise again. She used to cry every single day when she asked for money from my dad. And as a child, watching this, I couldn't do anything. I felt so helpless, you know. I tried to do things, I tried to make her feel better, but nothing made her feel better. And as a girl child, I felt that this was probably the norm. You know, no matter how successful you are, you're celebrated in your industry, you're leading people, doesn't matter. One day, your career is going to come to an abrupt end, and you are going to lose your financial independence for the rest of your life. So, all through my growing up years, I made sure that I am doing everything possible so that I don't end up in that same situation. I build financial stability. I do everything to protect myself. My career started great. I got a first job at Google, then YouTube, Cafe Coffee Day, Flipkart. These were some of the companies where I held positions. You know, I felt like I was flying. I protected myself, boss, right? At the age of 24, I was managing a team. There were people reporting to me. At 28, I had become an industry speaker, receiving awards. That's me at a Facebook event, telling entrepreneurs how they should be doing marketing, you know? So, I felt untouchable. You know, I felt like, bas ho gaya, boss. Like, I've fixed this, you know, I'm above all of this. And you know how God is, right? Sense of humor, 100. When you say, boss, I'm there, right? And God is like, seriously? Really? Ye le. 6 years ago, in 2017, everything came crashing down. My last job, because of the toxic culture, my health started getting affected. So I literally had no choice but to quit. And you know, the timing couldn't have been worse. The VC bubble had burst. There was no funding coming in. And I didn't get a job for 1 whole year. My confidence was like lost. I couldn't sleep in the night. I didn't know what was happening. And I couldn't believe that history was repeating itself, really. You know, whatever happened to my mother was happening to me. My worst nightmare. And while all of this was happening, right, my mom said, "Tera career bhi na mere career ki tarah ja raha hai. You know, your career is just going like my career." And it crushed me. I was so angry. I was like, this can't happen. And I promised myself that I am not going to go down like my mom, no matter what happens. Even if I have to sell something on the road, I will not go down like that. This is a photo of me and my partner on the day when we had 10,000 rupees in our combined accounts. And we laughed. we said, अब इससे बुरा क्या ही हो सकता है, right? How low would you go from here? My salary, my last salary was 55 lakhs. I used to get 3.5 lakhs in my bank account every month. And when I started freelancing, my first freelance gig was 50,000 rupees. But I did. I took it. I said, koi baat nahi, I'll do it. To earn 1.5 lakhs a month, I traveled from Bangalore to Bombay and back every single week for 6 months. But I did. I said, it's okay. I'll do it. I slowly started getting more assignments, slowly started growing. And then I thought to myself, maybe I don't need to do a job. Maybe I can build it into a business, you know. But I realized that to make it into a business, there were 3 things that I was severely struggling with, and I had to overcome them. First thing was the fear of numbers. You know, I was so scared of numbers. P&L, cash flow, ये सब क्या होता है? I don't know. I mean, I have managed other companies' B&L, not mine. You know, and in 2021 March, I came across Rajiv's Business Breakthrough Seminar. That's another story. But in my first coaching session with Arun, is Arun here? If you've not met Arun, please meet Arun. He's the modern day Krishna, okay? One of the gems of Quantum Leap. I'm a fan. So Arun asked me, what is your annual revenue? I was like, what? Sorry? Huh? I mean, the thought of calculating my annual revenue was so scary because I knew it was less than my CTC. I'm a failure, right? Cut to now, I track our business financials every week, and I love watching it grow. Thank you. The second thing was that I was so used to being that leader and having the sales people chase me, call me, okay, follow up for meetings and all that, right? And when I became a business owner, I knew I had to be that annoying salesperson, and my calls would be ignored. And I just couldn't get myself to be in that position. We did that sales mastery program, and Rajiv made us do harakiri. He said, in 2 hours, you have to call all prospects and generate as much business as possible. My goodness, that was like a game changer. That changed the person who I was. See, I have a condition called rejection sensitive dysphoria. What that means is that even a slight idea of rejection can take me down a spiral of emotions. I'll just crash. So with that, it was very difficult to close sales. But when I did this harakiri, I realized that while rejection is still painful, but that joy of closing the deal, is so addictive. You close one, you go to the next. How Rajiv says, no? Call next, call next, call next. That's what I'm doing. And thankfully, because of the sales meeting framework and all the trainings, I'm closing leads with an 85% conversion rate. All of these were, getting solved, but my self-confidence, I just didn't know what to do with it, right? Because my identity was built on my job titles, director of this, associate director of that, right? And suddenly, when I didn't have a job title, I don't know who I was. I normal person, like, who am I? What do I do? I don't do anything, right? And that was really getting in the way of me doing content marketing, putting myself out there, right? Because if you see on LinkedIn, I do have decent connections, and just the thought of posting something on LinkedIn, it was so scary that, okay, you know what, people will judge ki kya ho gaya iska, matlab, what has she become, right? One consultant from like a a really high-paying job. And Arun noticed this struggle in me. And in one of the sessions, he was asking me, pushing me to do content marketing. And that day he said, I'm going to pause the session here and not resume it until you post something, anything on LinkedIn. Oh my God, I froze. I gave excuses. Okay, I'll do it after. I'll do it tomorrow. He's like, no, 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 no. You're doing it now. I literally had tears in my eyes. And he said, post anything. I thought to myself, we had received an award for our business last year, but I thought sharing that on LinkedIn was so lame. I was like showing off. It was like, oh, we are so great. So lame. But okay, it was at least better to post than my other, whatever I had to post. So I just posted that award on LinkedIn, and man, the next time I opened LinkedIn, such congratulatory messages, leads, people want to know, what are you doing? What does your company do? I was like, okay, so maybe content marketing is not that bad. I think, yeah, doable. Mari nahi main. Matlab, I'm alive. Yeah. So, and coming back to, Rajiv's way of talking about things, right? Like, so I came across Rajiv's breakthrough seminar in March of 2021, and I attended it. I loved it. In that, they were selling the PACE program, $10,000, 3 days. And no money is coming to me yet, right? Or very little money. And I'm thinking, should I invest in it? Should I not invest in it? So then I go to my partner. And my partner, I love the fact that he's my personal Yoda, okay? I'll have this big problem, big question in my head, and I will go to him, and I'll ask him, ye kya karna chahiye? Should I invest 10,000? And he laughs. He doesn't answer. He responds with another question. So I ask him, what should I? He's laughing, ha ha. He's like, Nidhi, how big a business do you want to build? And I'm like, okay, fine, I got the answer. Right? So there I was. I invested 10,000, and then there was literally no looking back. And we had such a transformation, right? Not just personal transformation. My business had a transformation. My business had a great transformation. In 1 year of working with Quantum Leap, we grew by 100%. I started as a solopreneur, and now we have functions. I work with 8 consultants, right? My sales mindset on this has improved. And now we track and measure everything that we are doing in the business. I started doing content marketing. Wait, let me show you my team. That's my team, some of people in my team. And like I said, we started closing a lot of clients. There are some of the clients that we work with, Aditya Birla Group, Murugappa Group, Meesho, Amazon, consulting companies, all of that, all thanks to Quantum Leap. And my biggest takeaway in this, right, is that business is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you must run the course, no matter what's happening. And if you can't run, you must walk. And if you can't walk, you better crawl. And the courage to do that is the only way to build a rock-solid business. Rajiv says, no, business is a shabby journey, right? And with sales, I have this funda that, if you're in sales, you're in SaaS. You are doing sales as a service to your client. You're not selling something yourself. So don't have your image as too big in your head. And just consider the fact that whatever you're doing it as a service to the client. Invest in your team before you get the business. So have your soldiers in line before you go to war, right? I now understand what my mother went through, and I really wish there was a Rajiv Talreja back then to guide her, right? I understand what it takes to crawl back when you've had a hard fall. Right? And today, I promised my mom that I couldn't help her, but I want to help 1 million women entrepreneurs so that no woman feels like a failure when she hits the glass ceiling and no child feels helpless like I did. Thank you.